But think about it from poor little Giacomo's perspective. He's like, wow, I better deliver. Oh man, pressure's on. And then he like freezes up creatively, can't even think of anything. She's like, oh, I'll just steal. Oh, it's gonna be fine. Justifications, it's like music, subjective. I'm a great producer. But then the whole musical practice gets lost on him because he's focusing on just getting more likes and making more money, never becomes a fluent musician, and then has the weight of the world on his shoulders, gets busted. Classic story. Giacomo Turra scandal has caused a major paradigm shift in the music industry. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what that means for you. So if you don't know me, I'm Blake Hawley. I am a jazz guitar professor, and I specialize in teaching technical rock and metal guitarists the principles of jazz fluency, so that they, or you probably very likely, can apply those principles to your own musicianship and realize limitless creative abundance. So now it becomes clear why that Giacomo Turra scandal, that hits close to home, right? Because I teach and stand for real musicianship. I am the antithesis of what Giacomo Turra and all the people like him represent. So my intention for this video is to create a beacon for the real ones, the ones who have put in the work and are striving for authentic musical mastery in a sea of inauthentic fakers who literally use music as a medium to manipulate and deceive to make money. All right, so the paradigm shift now. In order to understand this, you first need to understand that there are essentially two types of musicians. The first type of musician is the fluent musician. Now, this is an individual who has the ability to speak the language of music as effortlessly and authentically as he speaks his native language. Now, one of the major, if not the major benefit of musical fluency is the ability to have musical conversations like this. Now, the benefit of these musical conversations is not only the real-time synergy of collaboration that's really only experienced in that live musicianship scenario. These conversations expand your musical vocabulary in real time, only if you're already fluent, right? Because once you cross that threshold of fluency, the speed of your musical development exponentiates. And that's because you can now understand everything that is being said to you in the language of music, right? So compare that to your native language, right? For me in English, somebody can say something in English that conveys an idea that I've never imagined or even considered, and yet I can nearly understand that idea, at least on a surface level, right away. And that's gonna trigger a whole other series of thoughts, which in a conversational setting, I can then respond with any of those thoughts. Maybe I have questions, maybe I have answers, maybe I have opinions, maybe I have convictions. Obviously, I'm not just repeating back what somebody said, right? So now this feedback loop of conceptual development is emerging just as a result of this conversation, which is all presupposing fluency in the English language. Now, so many levels to consider right here. For example, no two people sound the same in the same language. Everyone has their own individual voice. Inevitably, right? Just become fluent and then you finally realize your full voice. But imagine just never being fluent, like kind of being stuck at like rudimentary English. You would never even actualize all your thoughts and ideas in the full scope of your imagination because your vocabulary is limited. Like your vocabulary literally creates your reality, right? So this one's a deep cutter here. because vocabulary development is essentially reality development. Your reality expands as your vocabulary expands, especially even more noticeably in music. The more musical vocabulary you have, the bigger your reality of music is, obviously. All right, so what's the other type of musician? All right, it's pretty obvious. It's the imitator. Okay? Now, when I say imitator, I don't mean this necessarily with a negative connotation, because you actually need to be an imitator at some point along your development. Actually, at various points along your development, you need to be an imitator, so no shade. The development process is always going from imitator to creator. Through imitation, we understand precedent, but here's the catch with imitation, right? If you're not already fluent when you're an imitator, then the things that you're learning from imitation are completely lost on you, right? Because if you imitate somebody speaking a foreign language and you say and make the sounds that they make, you can sound exactly like with them. You could literally exactly interpret the pitch, the phrasing, the blah, 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 the technique, all that stuff in a foreign language and have no fucking clue what you actually said. It's exactly the same in music. So when you start learning riffs, but you don't already understand how music works, you don't even know what these riffs are representing or implying. You don't know what the lessons are from those riffs. So once you cross that threshold into fluency and then you return back into becoming the imitator, you learn infinite, endless from being the imitator. My last video, learning the goat riff, learned infinite. Say, like, transcribe any solo, any Wayne Krantz when you're already fluent. Any Wayne Krantz, transcribe anything you want, right? But Wayne Krantz is a good one if you want to get open string fretboard mastery, obviously. And the same lessons with the Tim Henson, it's like they're kind of like doing a similar thing. But when I learn a riff or a lick from another musician, I can integrate that into what I'm already doing because I understand how to use it harmonically and rhythmically because I already have the fluency. Without fluency, I would just copy and imitate, and at best, I'd be developing some technique. But unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to use any of that technique creatively because I'm not fluent in music. All right, so Giacomo Turra, obviously the perfect example of the imitator who never became the creator. And think about how this happened to him, right? You almost kind of feel bad for the guy, right? He starts by transcribing solos just like everyone does, right? It's like, hey, like learning my transcriptions, right? Then he starts getting some likes, starts getting some attention. Maybe he's producing good videos, right? So early on, his nicely well-produced videos got attention, right? He set an expectation, right? And then he couldn't meet that expectation because he was faking it, right? He was stealing and he was faking, but then he got more followers, freaking D'Angelico. It's like, what is happening, right? But think about it from poor little Giacomo's perspective. He's like, wow, I better deliver. Oh man, pressure's on. And then he like freezes up creatively, can't even think of anything. She's like, oh, I'll just steal. Oh, it's gonna be fine. Justifications, it's like music, subjective. I'm a great producer. But then the whole musical practice gets lost on him because he's focusing on just getting more likes and making more money, never becomes a fluent musician, and then has the weight of the world on his shoulders, gets busted. Classic story. But really, it's just the dilemma of musicianship in the age of social media, where fake shit is obviously rewarded because the algorithm doesn't know any freaking better. But here's where the real shame is. A company such as D'Angelico Guitars endorsed this guy? What? But they're not the only ones. Many of these companies that have leverage in the industry are endorsing fake musicianship. Think about NAMM. What? Not to say there's not some real ones in there, but you know what I'm saying if you know what I'm saying. It's just a different thing, right? Like right now, NAMM doesn't have any of this kind of stuff going on. know what I'm saying, dude? Nam doesn't have any of that. Where is that? Am I missing it? Did I not see it? I don't know. I don't pay that much attention to this stuff, right? I don't. But I am making a commentary on this Giacomo thing because, like I said, it is the antithesis of what I stand for and what I represent in this little tiny corner of the internet, which, by the way, my freaking Instagram follower literally doubled in the past, 2 months when this is, coming to a head here. So I definitely feel like the trend is shifting, right? So the real paradigm shift is, fake musicianship has overshadowed real musicianship across social media probably since the beginning. Guess what? Authenticity is about to make a freaking comeback, dude. Because it's all about trust, man. It's all about trust. So with music, that's kind of an easy thing to convey. Are you trustworthy or are you not? It's pretty easy. You just saw that raw video, right? Plenty of mistakes, leaving them all in just to make that point. But that raw vulnerability is what makes you realize, I know what the hell I'm talking about, right? Obviously! And so, people have just been paying attention to bullshit. And I mean, I talk to so many freaking guitar players every guy. It's not even real. It's a lot. It's a lot. I talk to a lot of guitar players. I have my finger on the freaking pulse. And so what I notice is that all the people who've taken all the classic guitar courses for all the classic people, you know the ones I'm talking about, not naming names, but there's the classic ones that people take from jazz, from rock, from fusion, right? The students that come to me are the people who take these courses and realize that they're completely useless because they're not already fluent in music. So this course is learn my hexatonic scale. Learn Barry Harris diminished 6 chords. Oh, look at my Barry Harris diminished 6 voice leading. Okay, yeah, so how do I integrate that in my vocabulary so I can use it? Here's the thing. When you cross over into fluency, all of those concepts just plug into your fluency just like puzzle pieces, right? But before you're fluent, everything is a bunch of tips. It's just tips. You don't even know what's going on. You don't even have a vocabulary. You didn't even know that music is a language that you have to speak with effortless fluency, right? So the biggest leap that you have to make as a musician is the leap from being an imitator who's not fluent to being a fluent musician. That's the only leap, and that's a good feeling because now you know what you need to do. You know what the goal is. It's very simple, right? All you have to do is become fluent. Now, I obviously have a step-by-step process. It's a 5-step mastery system to fluency. Works like literal alchemy, and if you want to learn more about that, look at the videos in the description of this video, right? I'm just going to list all the classic banger videos that teach everything, giving away the secrets of mastery freely, generously. Because guess what? They're not my secrets. I just am good at explaining them. So watch those videos, learn about my school, take my free Intro to Fretboard Mastery course, and get back to me, okay? Get back to me. Because if you want to be a part of the legacy of real, masterful, fluent, expressive, abundant, limitless musicianship, get into my world, okay? Systems for Creation, that's the name of the world. We've got 2 locations, and you'll easily be able to find them if you watch these videos and look at all the links and all the descriptions. You get my freaking email, free course. I'm out there, man. But I have a feeling this is going to be the first time a lot of you have seen me, and you probably don't know me before, but now you know me, and now you're going to get into my world and learn the secrets of mastery because they're not secrets. So see you very soon.